University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello, 14 winning teams are through to the next stage of the competition, but before that begins, there's some unfinished business. Tonight is the first of two playoffs for the last remaining places in the second round between four teams who lost their first round matches but did so with scores that were higher than some of the winning totals in other matches. It's a mechanism designed to even up the luck of the draw, and indeed the current champions only went on to their triumph after losing their first round match. So all to play for. Now, the team from Cardiff University seemed to have their first round match against Oxford Brookes pretty much sewn up by the halfway mark, with twice as many points as their opponents. But then they rather let things slide. They were on level pegging when the gong sounded and lost the match on a tiebreak. Even so, their score of 210 was the highest of all the first round runners-up. Let's meet them again.
Hello, I'm Henry Pickup. I'm from Nottingham and I'm studying theology.
Hi, I'm Rosie Howarth from Leatherhead in Surrey and I'm studying music and German.
And their captain.
Hi, I'm Shane O'Reilly. I'm from Dublin and I'm studying law.
I'm Greg Rees from Caerphilly, South Wales, reading English literature.
Their opponents in their first round match answered impressively on wine, women and song, which, aside from suggesting that Exeter University may be a rather agreeable place to while away a few years, tells us that they can do it when they try. They were very much on terms for two-thirds of that match against Peterhouse Cambridge, but they too let things slide in the final moments. Their score on that occasion was 165. Let's meet them again.
Hi, I'm James Williams. I'm from Southampton and I'm reading history and English.
Hi, I'm Adam Doggart. I'm from Thornbury near Bristol and I'm reading history.
And their captain.
Hi, I'm Tim Abbott from Rochester in Kent and I'm studying ancient history.
Hi, I'm James Milnes from East Riding and I'm reading for an MA in English.
OK, you all know the rules better than I do by now, so fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. Marking its 50th anniversary in 2009, the annual Design Council's Designers Prize is awarded in the name of which member of the royal family?
Exeter Abbott.
Prince Charles.
No, you lose 5 points. He famously complained about using a television remote control because, quote, you practically have to make love to the thing to make it work. Someone buzz from Cardiff.
Cardiff Rees.
Prince Philip?
Prince Philip is right, yes. So you get the first set of bonuses. I don't know why you equivocated so long. No one else comes to mind. Your bonuses now are on modern British poets. Which Birmingham-born poet rejected the offer of an OBE in 2003, stating that the name Order of the British Empire reminded him of thousands of years of brutality?
Benjamin Zephaniah.
Correct. Awarded an OBE in 1997 for services to poetry. Which of the Mersey poets also had a #1 single in 1968 with The Scaffold? His published works include Defying Gravity.
Roger McGough.
Correct. Which poet was awarded an OBE in 1995, 10 years after the publication of her collection, Standing Female Nude?
Caroline Duffy.
Caroline Duffy.
Correct. Another starter question now. What first three letters are shared by the names of the African country formerly known as Nyasaland, a low-lying island nation in the Indian Ocean, the country whose territories include Sarawak and Sabah, and an EU member...
Cardiff Pickup.
MAL.
Correct. Your bonuses, Cardiff, are on Tudor rebellions. Firstly, for 5, provoked in part by the dissolution of the monasteries. What three-word term denotes the northern rising against Henry VIII's government that began in 1536?
Pass.
It's the Pilgrimage of Grace. Which Norfolk farmer gives his name to a rebellion of 1549 that protested against enclosures and local misgovernment?
Wat Tyler?
You're out by about 200 years there. No, it's Kett's Rebellion. Motivated in part by religious concerns, the Western Rebellion of 1549 is often named after which text first used in worship in the same year?
The Book of Common Prayer?
Yes, correct. It's the Prayer Book Rebellion. 10 points for this. Willard Frank Libby, who worked on the separation of uranium isotopes for producing fissionable uranium-238 for the atomic bomb, was awarded the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 1960 for his development in 1947 of which method of determining the age of organic or fossilised material?
Exeter Abbott.
Carbon dating.
Carbon dating is correct. Your first set of bonuses, Exeter, are on Baroque composers. Born in 1659, the father is recognised as the founder of the Neapolitan School of Opera. Born in 1685, the son is widely considered to be the father of modern keyboard technique. What's their surname?
Bach.
No, it's Scarlatti. The suite known as the Water Music, or Hamburg Ebb and Flow, is the work of which prolific composer, a friend of Handel, born in Magdeburg in 1681?
What?
It's not Haydn, but...
Haydn.
No, it's Telemann. La Notte and La Tempesta di Mare are among the concerti of which Venetian composer, ordained in 1703 and known as the Red Priest from the colour of his hair?
Vivaldi.
Correct. Another starter question now. Listen carefully. The word disaster refers etymologically to a division of the stars. Similarly, what word is thought to derive from the practice of consulting the stars and means to think carefully, often before reaching a decision?
Exeter Abbott.
Astrology.
No. Cardiff, one of you buzz.
Cardiff O'Reilly.
Contemplate.
No, it's consider. 10 points for this. What name has been applied to two separate periods of the history of Paris, from 1792 to 1794, when the municipal government was in power, and from March to May 1871, when an independent...
Exeter Abbott.
Paris Commune.
Correct. Your bonuses now, Exeter, are on motion. The wave-like motion of smooth muscle that facilitates digestion and other bodily functions is generally known by what name?
Peristalsis.
Correct. Sometimes called a Maltese cross, the mechanism that converts continuous rotation into intermittent rotary motion, as in a cinema projector, is more commonly known by which name from its Swiss origins?
Geneva motor.
It's the Geneva drive, yes, I'll accept that. Brownian motion, the continuous random movement of particles in a fluid medium subjected to impact from the molecules of the medium, was explained in the 20th century as part of kinetic theory by which theoretical physicist?
Einstein.
Correct. And with the scores on 35 and 40, we're going to take our first picture round now. Your picture starter is a brief curriculum vitae listing some key facts relating to a public figure of the 20th century. 10 points if you can just give me the person's name.
Cardiff Rees.
John F. Kennedy.
Correct. So 3 more brief CVs of US presidents for your bonuses. 5 points for each you can identify from the information provided. Firstly?
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
It is Dwight Eisenhower. Secondly?
Harrison.
Cleveland.
It is Grover Cleveland, yes, the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. And finally?
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
It is, yes, the size gives him away, doesn't it? Another starter question. The Greek hero Jason is traditionally regarded as the founder of which city whose coat of arms depicts the dragon supposedly slain by him on the future site of the city, which is now the capital of Slovenia?
Exeter Doggart.
Bratislava.
No, anyone want to buzz from Cardiff?
Cardiff Pickup.
Ljubljana.
Correct. Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. 15 points for these bonuses. They're on Dickens. In each case, identify the novel in which these lines appear, and each piece is from a dying or deathbed speech. So listen up. They'll have to get the key of the gate afore they can take me in, for it's allus locked, and there's a step there, as I used to clean with my broom. It's turned very dark, sir. Is there any lighter coming?
Great Expectations.
No, it's Joe the crossing sweeper in Bleak House. Secondly, for 5, but in our judgments, like as in our doings, we mun bear and forbear in my pain and trouble. Looking up yonder, with it shining on me, I have seen more clear and have made it my dying prayer that all the world may only come together more.
Great Expectations.
No, that's Stephen Blackpool in Hard Times. And finally, oh, Dodie, after more years you never could have loved your child wife better than you do, and after more years she would so have tried and disappointed you that you might not have been able to love her half so well.
Pass.
Oh, I thought we were going to hear the same answer again. No, it's David Copperfield. 10 points for this. The word email, spelt without a hyphen but with an acute accent on the E, is the French for which vitrified substance applied as a decorative or protective covering to metal or glass?
Exeter Abbott.
Glaze.
Anyone like to have a go from Cardiff?
Cardiff Haworth.
Enamel?
Enamel is correct, yes. Cardiff, your bonuses are on principles named after people. Firstly, for 5 points, born in 1848, which Italian economist formulated an eponymous principle also known as the 80-20 rule? He applied it to personal income distribution, meaning that 20% of the population owned 80% of the wealth.
Pass.
That's Pareto. Derived from a study of Cebus monkeys conducted by an American psychologist, which principle states that more probable behaviours will reinforce less probable behaviours?
Pass.
That's Premack's principle. And finally, reissued in a 40th anniversary edition in 2009, which book states that in a hierarchy, every employee tends to rise to his level of incompetence?
Pass.
That's the Peter principle. Another starter question now. In cookery, the Latin for seawater is the origin of which term for a mixture often consisting of vinegar oil, herbs and other ingredients used to tenderise meat or fish?
Exeter Williams.
Marinade.
Marinade is right, yes. Your bonuses this time are on presidential palaces. Firstly, the Rashtrapati Bhavan is the official residence of which country's president?
India.
Correct. The Radwania Palace complex served as which ruler's main residence, as he chose not to live in the Republican Palace in the Karada Mariam district?
Pakistan.
No, it's Saddam Hussein. Located at 55 Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honoré, what is the official residence of the French president?
Palace de Tuileries.
No, it's the Élysée Palace. 10 points for this. If you put the federal government in charge of the Sahara Desert, in 5 years there'd be a shortage of sand. These are the words of which US monetarist who won the 1976 Nobel Prize for Economics?
Exeter Abbott.
Milton Friedman.
Correct. Your bonuses are on prime numbers and prime ministers. Tony Blair first became prime minister in 1997. 1997 is the 302nd prime. In each case, name the person who became or continued as prime minister at general elections in years represented by the following primes. Clear? Okay. Good. Firstly, for 5 points, the 297th prime.
Give me an okay.
Churchill, I reckon.
Churchill.
It was in 1951. Secondly, the 294th prime.
Was that earlier?
That's earlier, so 51. Chamberlain.
Is that how much?
No, earlier than Chamberlain.
Ramsay MacDonald.
In 1931, yes. And finally, the 299th and the 300th primes.
That's going to be
Someone who was in
Thatcher.
Thatcher.
It was Mrs. Thatcher, yes. Time for a music round now. Your music starter is a piece of popular music. To get 10 points, you just have to give me the name of the band performing.
Exeter Milnes.
The Strokes.
It is the Strokes, yes. These bonuses will give you the lead. That was taken from their album, the Strokes album, Is This It?, which was voted Best Album of the Last Decade by NME magazine. Your music bonuses are songs taken from 3 more albums from that top 10. 5 points for each band and album you can name. Firstly, for 5.
Nominate Milnes.
Arcade Fire and Funeral, the album.
Correct. And secondly?
Yeah, Yeah, Yeahs and Fever to Tell.
Correct. And finally?
I think this is how taking these albums. Don't know the albums. Jose Gonzalez, Shadows.
No, it's Radiohead in Rainbows. Another starter question now. How many human figures are there in each